2 win streaks are on the line here. LGD for the first time in nearly 2 years, and Invictus Gaming, one of the longest living legacies in the LPL, clashing head to head. And it's LGD who take game number 1. Clement, welcome back. This has been quite an exciting ride, and that was just game number 1.
Yeah, LGD managing to shock everyone. I feel like a big point is the draft phase. IG, they're a better team on red side, but a lot of that has been because they were able to counterpick for Rookie. When they're playing these supportive mid laners and trying to cover for JackeyLove, you don't really work that counterpick. So their biggest advantage in Rookie and Ning were kind of equalized by themselves.
In how Invictus Gaming tried to play the game. Well, now they find themselves on this blue side, and I think the point that you're trying to get to is the fact that now they're giving up counterpick for Rookie. Red side Rookie is not going to be a thing in this game. LGD get to counterpick. It's actually kind of scary.
I think the counterpick we're really looking at is what is Jinoo going to play in that top lane, because he's going to have a better chance at that. What I feel like IG should fix in their draft phase is, okay, we know that JackeyLove, you're probably not going to teach him how to play defensive in the bot lane in a single game. So how about maybe you just pick a tank top lane and go full bottom? Is that an option?
But that brings such an interesting question, because if you play a tank top lane and you're Invictus Gaming, why not bring a Duke? He's the tank. He's the guy himself. TheShy's the guy who tries to carry. And we saw in the laning phase with Ning focusing towards that top lane so many times, they were able to get an advantage and at least slow down Jinoo's snowball and prevent some of that early game Gangplank pressure. But they just could not prevent him from the late game. And maybe they just ban out the Gangplank or try to put him on something else?
I think they can pick the Gangplank themselves, because that's a pick that helps out the bot lane and is also fairly safe to leave alone kind of in the top lane. And you just try to prop up JackeyLove and give him back his confidence, because he's just been shut down by FDY.
Yeah, it's such a scary thing that we're talking about propping up JackeyLove. He's supposed to be such a hype AD carry player, and you can see in his mechanics, he's got the right mechanics. I was going to say he's got the right idea. Sometimes he does not have the right idea.
Not the right idea. Not the right idea. He's got the good hands. The brain, I'm not sure yet. You could see on the last play in our first game, Rookie just kind of giving up on JackeyLove, says, okay, I'm not going to R into that.
So
You're
I guess
dead.
then that should be a question that we talk about a little bit later on after we watch the tape for this game number 2, because FDY came in and he showed, hey, I can play Xayah into Kog'Maw. I can play defensive. I can be pushed into my turret. JackeyLove, if he plays a losing lane, he will still push into you. Is just a... Well, tell you, we'll wait for the tape. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll actually turn our attention instead towards LGD and see how do they continue their momentum then? Do they just continue to focus that bottom lane?
I really feel like their compositions, what they want to do is they want to get scrappy team compositions, because IG will give you those type of fights. I felt like PYL's Braum was massive in that previous game. Just like Rusty said, it really allowed them to kind of chain CC and keep them in the fight for that in that sense. So for LGD, you know, you're probably not the best macro team in the world. You want to scrap, you want to fight around. Pick those hard CC lockdown champions that are going to allow you to continue to do that.
It wasn't exactly the cleanest League of Legends from LGD. But it was the League of Legends that they needed to defeat Invictus Gaming. And if they just do that one more time out of these next 2 games, they close out the series and continue their win streak up to 4 games. Whereas Invictus Gaming, on the other hand, their 4-series win streak will come to an end in Hangzhou, of all places. And you can already see LGD making their way back onto stage. And they look rather calm and collected for themselves.
Home stadium has been a huge advantage in the LPL so far. The other team that has their home stadium, Snake, now 5-1. Not having to travel for your games and just being familiar with your surroundings, I definitely feel like helps these teams out.
Absolutely. I mean, I got to be in Chongqing for the Snake versus EDG game, and the energy was electric. Absolutely huge. And IG, perhaps they're feeling a bit of that energy now, but it is having adverse effects on them because there's not a smile on anyone on that team. Let's see if Rookie's smiling. There's Ning. Ooh, that's not a happy Rookie.
Yeah, this is their first loss since the RNG series, so they've been very victorious for a long time. However, like we said in the pregame show, IG has not had the cleanest of games. They had their struggles against teams like Sunny, even against teams like Top. And a huge problem for them is that their map play has always been a bit lackluster, and their communication in team fights has not always been top of the line. You could see in their game 1 that where they went into that second tower in mid.
Yeah.
They just kind of fumbled the ball there, went way too deep.
Into a Xayah. Yeah.
Into the Gangplank as well.
Yeah. But, I mean, we're still seeing excellent mechanics out of them. Rookie, even on the Galio, you're like, what can Galio do? He can flash taunt 3 of your carries is what he can do. Still showing up with some big mechanics from Rookie. Ning is still coming up with some big flanks. TheShy, we were talking about the game. He had one job at the end of the game. Find the Zoe. Lock it down. He did his job. It just wasn't enough.
And that's exactly the play. I feel like for IG right now, there's 2 things they could do. Focus on JackeyLove, or you get Rookie rolling, because those are your 2 strongest points on the roster compared to LGD.
Well, we'll have to see how Invictus Gaming decide to play this out. Our casters are ready to get us into game. Gentlemen, the desk is yours.
No, Dom, the desk is not mine. That's property of the LPL. You take that back. But we're about to get into game number 2 of Invictus Gaming taking on LGD. And right now, IG might have their winning spree stopped here by LGD. And LGD might continue theirs.
There is a very real chance that IG are able to be upset here by LGD. And if we take just game 1 as a vacuum, then it feels like LGD are suddenly favorites in this matchup, and that's where you really have to explore, you know, the things that go wrong with IG and what LGD did right as well that does get addressed in the second draft phase.
On top of that, the desk, we're talking heavily about IG giving up counter pick for Rookie by moving over towards the blue side. But we haven't really touched on what IG get from this, which is the first pick moving into Champion Select.
Yeah, also having advantages with bans as well as the first pick. When you're on the red side, you have to get rid of the target bans for that first pick specifically. I know in the last game, Varus was taken away from IG, from JackeyLove. It's his most played carry by a significant margin. So coming into this second draft phase, can LGD actually afford to leave the Varus open, or can they actually afford to even leave open hyper carries like the Zoe that are going to be on the other side? Red side need to remove those.
Well, the answer is no. They can't afford to leave them open as LGD ban out both Zoe and Varus. Azir is the final ban that comes out from them. Vladimir, Rise, and Xayah are the 3 bans thrown out by Invictus Gaming. And we saw an AD carry ban that came up from IG during their second ban rotation in the last match, which was Draven, targeted towards FDY. But LGD do respond quite well to the first pick of Camille, with Braum and Sejuani picked up.
I like the first pick of Camille again for TheShy. They're on the blue side, so he doesn't get the counter, and you'd have to assume that a Gangplank will still be there for Jinoo. He's familiar with the matchup, and they did win with it, so it might be a confidence play from Jinoo. However, the Camille does very well. TheShy does very well, and what we're looking for realistically is, will they go the Galio Camille? Yes, but will they go the Galio Camille composition again? They're like 5 seconds ahead of my train of thought, man. They need to slow down.
Well, Rookie will pick up Galio once again in this match. LGD could always respond with a final pick of Gangplank in the first draft phase here, and it's looking to be very similar to what we saw in the first match. However, Baolan focuses on picking up Alistar as the support pick of choice.
Bit of extra engage for them as well. I like this. JackeyLove probably not going to be something like the Cogmore, given that it's going to be an Alistar, so we'll see which direction he goes as well. No Varus to be seen. Ezreal, actually a decent option, but we're going into the second ban phase, and there is a chance that AD carries get touched by LGD, just because they get the first pick here in the second pick phase.
Gangplank is the final pick that comes out for Jinoo in the top lane. Has been a very strong champion in the current meta.
Now, what is cool about the Xayah ban from IG in particular is that they don't know what FDY's champion pool is going to be. They might get rid of the Draven, of course, as well, just because they did last time. And the Ezreal's now gone, the Varus is now gone, the Xayah is gone as well. You're really starting to stretch the champion pools, and is it a comfortable position for FDY to play Vayne on stage in his second ever game when Vayne, Kalista, 2 of the only real prevalent AD carries up and standing?
Which is the benefit FDY really has as coming in as a substitute. His champion pool is only really well known to LGD. So they could hide a couple of champions. It does seem like IG have an inkling of what he can play with the double Draven bans in game 1 and game number 2. Caitlyn is also taken off the tail by LGD. So both teams heavily targeting the AD carry pool.
And you may as well in for a penny, in for a pound if you're Invictus Gaming here as well. Just go all in on the AD carries and see what's left standing. If they pick something like the Kalista, well, Vayne, Sivir, Tristana, also very good into the Kalista as well for favorable matchups. And let's just draw.
And they get a very old kill lane as well with the Tristana Alistar combo in the bottom lane for Invictus Gaming. But Kalista is a champion that is always incredibly strong in the LPL, and we still see it played frequently. However, that's a Gnar pickup for IG. That will head into the top lane, and we'll have Ning playing Camille in the jungle.
Yeah, so they used the flex for the Camille this time. The first time I believe that we have seen it from IG, and it's about time as well, simply because TheShy is a very prolific Camille player. Ning loves his carries, and now the Galio has a whole lot more substance to it as well. TheShy, he's not playing a traditional tank per se. It is an offense build, but Gnar can be relatively tanky, can engage for the team, and I really do like IG's composition a whole lot more in Game 2.
The final pick that comes out for LGD is going to be Corki in the mid lane for Yuuki. We have seen quite a bit more of Corki since the start of week 3 in the LPL, but it still has been a fringe pick for quite a few of the mid lane players.
Yeah.
Rookie should know a whole lot about Corki. He was one of the first few to bring it to the LPL in the mid lane.
But of course, he is an expert on it. He's also one of the few people that will still play Lucian into the matchup, and just still play Lucian, I should say, in the current meta. But it's going to be on the Galio this time around. He's going to be more of the tank, the soaker for the team. I do see a lot of different Galio builds. No one really knows what the best one looks like. The EULCS seems to like Morello Nomicon second for the extra cooldown reduction. Deficio was talking about that one extensively, but even in that league, they will sometimes go towards the Leandries after an Abyssal Mask. We've seen Death Caps from Shie. We've seen Proto Belts from the LCK. Everyone is not sold on what optimal builds look like for Galio just yet. Maybe it's because there isn't an optimal build. Maybe it's because they can't decide between each other and they're still having a fight.
He's also just such a flexible champion. He can go ability power if he needs to bring more damage. He can go magic resistance if he has to tank up more magic damage, and even armor with the Zhonya's Hourglass being picked up here and there. And has been rising in popularity as a big pick in the mid lane for multiple teams, especially IG having heavy focus on the pick for game number 2. Was a counter pick in game number 1.
And they've kept the combo fish. They've still got the Galio Camille combo. It's just going to be in the jungle, a little bit closer and more accessible to Rookie, you would say, as well. This time around, TheShy is able to add to that combo even further. Camille places the arena. Gnar can knock them all down.
And remember, coming into this series, LGD off the back of a 3-game win streak. IG undefeated since picking up TheShy, the top side of the map. And you could hear the chants. LGD currently a game up over IG in front of their home crowd in Hangzhou.
That's the big thing. They are at home. Bit more comfortability for FDY as well. First time playing in front of the home stage. Maybe there's nerves.
First game for LGD in the LPL. He picks up an MVP performance. And that was off the back of a laning phase that went heavily in JackeyLove's favor until LGD turned around a 2v2 in the bottom lane. And now another win here for LGD would not only continue their win streak and shut down IG, but force a 4-way tie in their conference at the top of the table before moving into cross-conference games.
Yep, a 4-way tie before cross-conference means that the muddled group is going to be mostly confusing as to what's going to happen. And cross-conference actually becomes that much more exciting because they are free win games as the group stands. So this game's very important for both teams just before that cross-conference starts, and we're kicking it off with an invade.
Already TheShy, as well as Ning, move into LGD's jungle to take away red buff. I believe they were not spotted out yet, but they will be.
And a hard push from IG on the opposite side with bottom lane as well. Knowing full well that against the Kalista Braum, they want to have lane control, and that's already a decent amount of damage chipped away at the structure for a first wave. If that continues, if IG continue to have control and get level 2, then they can actually get kill threat here with the full reset.
Minion Dematerializer picked up by Alistar, but not for Braum. However, Braum does have the shield available to negate some damage to these turrets later on in the match.
Now, the other important thing as well is that it's a Gangplank into a Gnar this time around. Something we mentioned during the first draft phase is something that might have a greater... IG needed it a little bit more than they did Camille, is what I should say as well. This time around, he's got the matchup. It's not the best matchup of all time this early on. It starts to become very Gnar favored, though, as you get levels up. And you're able to throw out boomerangs constantly with the W there, with the hyper procs.
And you can already see Camille's moving in towards the top side of the map. Ning will be able to spot him out with that ward that's left there, but they're going for a one-on-one to kick things off. Jinoo, TheShy goes midi. He fights on him, but no! TheShy styles on him, and he picks up first blood.
I don't think Jinoo got the A click off there just in time. TheShy is able to get the auto attack. Picks up the solo kill. Camille was nearby, and it's unfortunate for Ning that he's not going to be able to get any of the experience, any of the gold. But IG, that's how you start off game number 2 if you're TheShy.
On top of that, Ning is still waiting in the wings, top side of the river. He can move straight into the top lane and shut Jinoo down even further behind.
Oh, you know he wants to.
Double buff is available for the Camille, but it is a difficult task to try and gank Jinoo where he is standing right now in the lane.
When you've got a flash as Camille, however, it is a little bit easier to at least close the distance, but you're aware that he's got the oranges. They want him to push up for this wave.
Eimy is trying to path up towards top side. That's a flash in coming out from Ning. Where were the oranges for Jinoo? Because that's already 2 kills for IG in the top lane.
No chance to survive for Jinoo now. 0 and 2 at 3 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. He's going to have to walk towards his lane as well. They make sure to push it in. They make sure he misses all of these minions. And now the lead grows. And it's not just TheShy that picks up the kill this time around. It is Ning. So it was worth the wait. IG start off strong.
CS advantage for TheShy. He has an experience advantage as well. Even the teleport still available for Gnar. Jinoo will be forced to walk back to lane. Good start coming out from Invictus Gaming. Eimy on the Sejuani means he can't be as proactive as this Camille, who is flying through the jungle at the moment.
The thing is, you love to see it. Every time there's a Gangplank running around, we've seen all the Ornn Gangplank matchups. You want to see the Gangplank die for once in his life because he's meant to scale, but he gets free laning phase. This time around, they do pick on him. They win a 1v1, and then they continue to keep him down. And now Gangplank's life becomes very miserable. He can't win the 1v1. He can hardly clear the waves, as he's currently just got a Sapphire Crystal.
It's going to be even more difficult once Galio hits level 6 and can start moving in towards the top side of the map. As Ning and Eimy go for a little bit of a brawl here, but Eimy gets a good amount of damage in. Double taunt coming out from Rookie, but instantly cleansed away by Yuuki. Forces Galio to flash away, but that's big coming out from Eimy. Locks him down, says, "You're not going anywhere, buddy." And Yuuki picks up a kill in the mid lane.
Oh, Eimy is clean today. LGD want that victory, and on the back of their jungler, they make that work. Yuuki also with a Cat the Jack cleanse trades bottom.
Bottom lane, however, Baolan is going to be able to lock that FBI. JackeyLove jumps over on top of his head. Exhaust put down, but there's a time bomb ticking and ticking more as JackeyLove gets that kill in the bottom lane.
And IG get the 2v2 this time around, so it's all the other direction for LGD. Fortunately for them, they get a trade through the mid and jungle duo, but everywhere else on the map is just losing.
As we talked about in Champions, this used to be an old kill lane. JackeyLove and Baolan showing how that one works exactly. On top of that, FDY running the press the attack on Kalista here, so can't swap out his summoner spells to move down to the bottom lane. PYL again going to pick up all this.
Oh, lethal tempo, right?
Lethal tempo, that's right.
Sorry, I thought you said Baolan was running press the attack, and I got real confused until I heard Kalista.
Nah, he's an Alistar. But he can't teleport back into the lane. Meanwhile, top side at TheShy. Going one-on-one against Jinoo. Already one combo sends him down below half health.
Just outright control. He's actually even going to threaten the kill here. Stopwatch is available for Jinoo, though.
Uh-oh, TheShy
I don't know about this,
quite a
TheShy.
few turret shots there. Jinoo's still level 5, though. Baolan jumps into the mid lane. Yuuki using his Valkyrie to get away from that crowd control. But still good starts to the top lane and bottom lane for Invictus Gaming. They're now 1,000 gold up just 7 minutes in the match.
And we just have to quickly mention Yuuki as well. Perhaps he is going to be the saving grace for LGD. If the bottom lane's getting 2v2'd, if Jinoo's being zoned away in a 1v1, and there's 2 levels in advantage to TheShy. Like, top lane's pretty much over currently. But mid lane, we saw the aggressive play working with Eimy. We saw a Captain Jack-esque cleanse on Rookie, which results in a kill going to them. The mid laner of LGD has shown up just as much as the bottom lane did in game 1. But this is game 2 and he's showing up this time.
Top lane, though, is the main focus here. 2 kills already picked up from the top side for IG. 25 CS advantage as that's a flash in for Baolan, and Galio's jumping down as well. No flash for FDY. Uses his stopwatch nice and early, gets away from the taunt that comes out from Galio. Almost falls to the buster shot that comes out from JackeyLove. But IG hyper aggressive in game number 2.
I don't think JackeyLove got an auto attack off after he used the Buster Shot. May have been closer to that kill, but they don't lock it down. With the aggressive plays, Rookie's finally going to the other side of the rift. It's not just going to be a Camille comboed with Galio. He finds any target, and Baolan with his mobility boots, Alistar, is a pretty ripe target to help engage with.
We can see the gold leads here. It's 900 gold in favor of TheShy top side of the map. 600 gold in favor for JackeyLove.
He's level 6. There's a stopwatch available. If Camille engages, Jinoo may die. And the wave is pushing away from him, so he has to step up.
No stopwatch for TheShy, though.
Notice that TheShy doesn't want to make it obvious. He can't change his playstyle, or Jinoo thinks that something's up. He's still trying to harass and poke him.
Ning is just waiting very patiently. TheShy will get a freeze going, and jungler for LGD is nowhere close to the top side of the map. Eimy goes to ward.
He needs to put a keg in the bush. Uh-oh.
Well, showed himself, so that gank fizzles out. And Jinoo goes back to base.
I think Ning actually did that because he finally decided he wants to recall and just wanted to change bushes, reveal himself, and not let Jinoo feel confident. But what this does do is it gives Eimy time to work towards the other side of the map, and thankfully for IG, Baolan is there.
He's going to see if he can take away a couple of camps, but decides not to.
He's too afraid. He wants to gank mid.
Yuuki does have the package available.
That's real hard to get a successful gank off, though. There's a Negatron cloak for the Galio.
Oof. That is not fun for Gangplank in the top lane. 74 CS to 32. TheShy is zoning away this Gangplank. 2 levels up on Gnar. Teleport being used by Jinoo again to get back into the top lane.
Yeah, just gets himself a cloth armor. Top lane is an absolute disaster. There is nothing remotely close to a fun experience up here for Jinoo.
Oof.
Even missing those kegs now, there's just too much pressure from TheShy.
Does not look fun at all for LGD at the moment.
TheShy will probably just ult him under the turret to do damage as well, just to pressure him. Just continue to tickle him and push him away.
He's being zoned away from ranged minions that are being attacked by his turret. This is not a good lane at all for Jinoo at the moment. TheShy being very oppressive. Meanwhile, mid lane, Yuuki does get locked down by Ning. Baolan is here as well. Has to play this one cautiously. Does not have a stopwatch for himself. But Ning trapped underneath this turret. He is going to fall. Yuuki gets his 2nd kill of the game.
I think Ning's having a laugh. I'm honestly not sure why he was going for a dive there at all. It's a bit deep, isn't it? The Valkyrie was used. He missed the target. Let it go. He kept going.
It's not as big as the disaster that the top lane has been put in for LGD, but still big advantage in the mid lane being picked up by Yuuki.
No, thankfully, of course, top lane is going as you would expect still. But you can't afford to make mistakes like that constantly around the rest of the map. If you get any opportunities to the rest of them, they can start to carry. And look what they get from it.
Use this time to pick up an Infernal Dragon for themselves. So still holding on throughout the rest of the map. They're only 500 gold behind IG, and it's really all going to be in the top side of the map now.
Yeah.
This little bugger is just keeping the Gangplank locked down underneath the turret.
Jinoo is last hitting all of the minions that he can with Q specifically, though. So he's trying to keep his gold value up as high as he possibly can. Less Qs onto TheShy, more into the minions. Now, Jinoo doesn't have ult or teleport, so the turret's just inevitably going to drop, and it's a first turret that'll go over to a solo Gnar. And that gold will continue to stretch. I can only imagine that he's going to go window shopping TheShy when he comes back to base. Any item in the shop, none of it's grey. It's all his.
Won't be able to take down the turret with this push,
he doesn't want
but
to, Fish.
It's set up for later.
There is no way he wants to take that. If he could kill Gangplank and get a turret, that's the 2-for-1. Ning's also on the top side. Galio has the ultimate. Jinoo kind of just has to leave the turret. So either he zones himself or he dies.
Ning is waiting in the wings on the top side of the map. TheShy will get this turret now. That kind of minion should be able to tank it up. So first turret goes over towards Invictus Gaming. Now they have the gold lead, 2,000 gold ahead of LGD.
Unfortunately for IG, Ning is relatively weak. I know he's got his completed jungle item, so he will have a lot of damage, but you can see his health bar is fairly low, only 988 health total, so less than 1,000. He could get chunked out by a Trinity Force Corki in like one
They're
rotation.
collapsing on this. LGD get good damage on the Ning. He jumps over towards the blast cone though, and Rookie will slam into the ground, getting a good knocker. Ning tries to jump back in. Yuuki taking a lot of damage. Can they take him down first though? Ning will fall. They trade 1-for-1 as Yuuki goes down here. Jinoo now joining the fight, but Eimy goes down. TheShy gets another kill for himself.
And they choose to fight at the red buff. TheShy now has red.
Uh-oh, and Jinoo is being dove by this Gnar, who is about to go mega good damage onto the Gangplank. Forced to eat oranges underneath his inner turret in the top lane.
TheShy actually just waddles over to the red buff fight and picks himself up a kill. I like the idea from LGD, chunk out Ning. He is overstepping his boundaries, but he's got a Galio right next to him. Cleanse was used by Yuuki. You'd say a bit early as well, didn't respect that the hookshot could come out from Camille and come back into the fight. And then TheShy just walks up, picks up an extra 300 gold, picks himself up a kill on top of it, red buff. He still hasn't shopped fish.
Oh no. Also walks back into the
I'm
taunt
excited
range
to see
from
what he's
Yuuki.
going to purchase.
Well, he's going to buy it soon. He is
Here
now
he
going to head
goes.
back to base. Probably going to be his Black Cleaver, complete that
Full
Kindle
Black
Gem item.
Cleaver and a Jarum's Fist, you reckon? Does he have that much gold?
Well, he gets the Black Cleaver and a Jarum's Fist. Oh no.
Oh, I'm on it. Shout out to me.
This is a disaster. He's got more than double the CS of Jinoo at the moment.
Yeah, that's... Look, it's devastating. I don't know how much we're able to talk about top lane without just saying, like, sound effects, just onomatopoeia for everything. It hurts.
The
It
rest-
really hurts to look at.
The rest of the map was looking alright for LGD. However, that fight over red buff, thanks to the help from TheShy, has swung things back in IG's favor. 2 kills now for Ning. He's getting back on the map. Bottom lane has been constantly put under pressure by JackeyLove. Although they got the 2-on-2 kill, LGD will be able to hold on just fine in terms of CS. However, their turret will fall eventually. Lots of pressure coming out from IG.
Yeah, the Tristana is going to be able to siege. Alistar has a lot of zoning threat as well. PYL intentionally tanking that as well. They're just trying to delay the inevitable structure falling. And if bottom lane turret's falling, if top lane turret's falling in the 1v1 and mid lane's going equal, but it's a Galio, once again we find ourselves something similar to IG in game 1, but the successful version of it when their composition is working out as you would plan. This is literally the strategy they had in game number 1, but they won the 2v2, they won the 1v1.
Exactly that. They had 2 pushing lanes in game number 1, but it didn't work out for them this time round. Just seems like LGD can't find a break. No, really, Jinoo was relying on that one-on-one against TheShy for first blood.
A good presence of mind from Rookie here as well, with LGD sacrificing the bottom lane turret. They wanted to kill Rookie mid, maybe go for some siege in mid lane as well and equalize the gold in some way, but Rookie backs away, shows respect.
Creeping up to a 4,000 gold lead for IG as well, very early in this match. Second package being used by Yuuki, doesn't get anything out of it. IG move towards the Rift Herald. They're going to be able to take that objective for themselves.
Easy as you'd like as well, LGD not able to respond. They want to actually, not necessarily freeze top lane, but they want to prolong his CSing experience closer to his top lane inner turret.
I thought you were going to say prolong his suffering for a second.
Oh no, they don't want to prolong any suffering. They want to give him time alone. He's meditating in the mountains up there.
Oh, but for how much longer? Look at this. Oh, Baolan just got knocked back by JackeyLove. So they can't go together for this gank, but they've already rotated the Tristana into the top lane. Jinoo's the same level.
Well, they want to dive it either way. They need to push Jinoo away. He's having a very rough experience. So once again, IG, they find the wound and they push into it.
Jinoo's the same level as JackeyLove. This is a disaster for LG's top laner. His top lane turret's going to take a lot of damage. Tristana and Alistar pushed this down quite quickly.
Yeah, pretty much one wave fish. And with the second one coming, that's the structure gone if LGD didn't respond.
He'll now be sent on cleanup duty as Jinoo gets pushed down into the bottom lane to collect whatever. We see Gnar push back in. Top side of the map, they'll have the swap of the AD carries as well. Blade of the Ruin King already complete for Kalista, as well as the Ninja Tabbies, whereas beside JackeyLove, Static Shiv already up with that BF sword. Yuuki is getting nice and strong though on this Corki. Trinity Force as well as Zeal complete.
Yeah, some very good trades coming out from Yuuki. Still, Rookie doesn't really have a chance at fighting him when the Gatling gun is available. Corki can shred those resistances and constantly weave in Sheen auto attacks. Going towards the crit build as well. I'm expecting a rapid fire cannon second as his item of choice. So he can try and outrange the taunt just that little bit more.
TheShy again continues to push in the bottom side of the map. Yuuki, as we were just talking about in the mid lane, holding off this turret against the 3-man push coming out from IG, as Rift Herald gets dropped down by Ning. So this should break the mid lane adder.
Unfortunately, Braum's door doesn't stop Herald.
He tried.
I like the initiative, but with that turret going down, the gold grows, and all LGD have to hold on to right now is an Infernal Drake.
Surprisingly enough, LGD have to put on their best IG impersonation now and turtle up. Do what they can to get back in this match. 4,000 gold down.
Item spikes are starting to show up. Blade of the Ruined King specifically for FDY. PYL's once again going towards his face of the mountain build. But with these item spikes, objectives are easy to control if nothing else for the Kalista. They could look towards some plays, but with all the pressure that's just being asserted around the map by Invictus Gaming, from top to mid to bottom, even the Drakes are free. The wards are starting to push forwards for IG, and everything that LGD has is defensive.
Yep.
Contrast to that fact.
And you start to wonder, what do LGD do at this point? Because they're turtling up. They're just trying to farm as passively as they can. But the stranglehold that IG have at the moment is keeping LGD out of this match. And it all stemmed from that top lane advantage that was picked up by Gnar.
Yeah, which makes you highlight LGD once again and say, where do they open anything up if they find any advantages? And the reason that I bring about item spikes is because it's their best chance to do so. If they found a chance to go forwards, make a pick before someone on IG can even recall, then perhaps. I think that was one of their opportunities if Braum hit the Q, but even then, I don't think they're killing TheShy. They're just buying time for Jinoo, and there's only so much time on the map that LGD can buy.
And on top of that, you've got Rookie roaming around the Rift with an ultimate, so anytime LGD trying to make an attempt on something, Galio is going to be there to fight.
The really good vision control so far. You've just watched 3 individual members of LGD use their sweepers and place a control ward. Try and get a bit more control around at least their side of the map. Prevent any teleport flanks. There's no chance that Gnar's going to get into the back lines.
You can even see FDY not swapping out for a blue trinket yet. Still holding on to his yellow trinket to place down more wards. But they're sticking this one out, LGD, trying to make the best out of the situation they've been put in.
I mean, if IG are not going to do anything for a significant amount of time, then everything's pretty good for LGD. They can just keep farming.
They just sit back and say, we've got late game, boys.
Yeah.
We're scaling.
Next Drake's an Infernal and Baron's up in 5 seconds, though, so things start to heat up, unfortunately, for LGD. They don't get much of a say in the matter here.
And where do we start to see IG put on that pressure? Because Baron at 20 minutes is still a bit risky.
Well, it's just around the Baron. It's not to do the Baron. You would still be looking at getting vision control and picking someone out. They've got a very good composition for those picks.
Well, this man on your screen, he is starving. He's caught back up slightly in levels. He's now only 1 behind the Gnar. But still not in a great spot. Yuuki's picked up another package for himself. But again, should just be used defensively to clear out waves.
The scary prospect for LGD is that even if TheShy isn't in a fight, if Jinoo's able to successfully just hold a 1v1 and clear waves, JackeyLove's still probably too big. I'd say far too big to deal with. He has 2 completed items compared to FDY.
It's Infinity Edge static shift compared to Blade of the Ruined King Zeal as well, which is massive.
So as the item spikes go, LGD are not equipped. IG are equipped in a 5v5, in a 4v4, whatever you want. And have the edge besides a mid lane jungle 2v2 skirmish. That may be the only thing, and even then there's a Trinity Force on Ning.
Top of that, TheShy is getting good damage on this bottom lane inner turret. Even killing the barrels every time Jinoo tries to place them down.
I always like watching Gangplanks when they do oh, hang on.
They're trying to lock down Yuuki here. Ultimate gets used by Ning, and a combo comes out from Baolan. On top of that, in the bottom lane, turret's going to fall for IG as TheShy picks that one up. IG just winning everywhere on the map.
And notice how patiently the pressure starts to shift as well, re-engaging for fights if they can.
Flashing in for Rookie on top of that. PYL tries to save Eimy, but that's a stopwatch being burnt. JackeyLove shows up to get an assist on the back of that. And 1 by 1, IG are tearing LGD apart.
And this time it was the jungler that died, so straight over to the Baron. They'll pick themselves up the purple worm. PYL's gonna not even consider it this time around. Doesn't even want to place wards. He knows exactly what's happening. They just can't stop it.
Nothing flashy from IG. It's just been clean, perfect play so far. Jinoo tries. of the ultimate. Ning does take quite a bit of damage for this though. Will be able to get the smite off, he'll back up nicely, and picks up Baron buff for his team.
Times it pretty close to perfection there is Ning on the side of IG. He didn't risk the Gangplank stealing it. Of course, all of the ults come down in waves of 3. So he waited, he went to a very low amount of health, but smites at the correct time to ensure there's not even a chance of a steal. And they do pick themselves up that Baron pretty much uncontested, and in a way that you would expect from them as well. Why take any risks of doing a Baron when you could get a team fight, use a pick from Camille's kit as well to generate that significantly easier?
They got it locking down Yuuki, can't flash away from the Hextech ultimatum. And although this lane, FDY and PYL have been able to hold their own against JackeyLove and Baolan, they still lost a 2-on-2 where JackeyLove picked up the kill. But all that gold lead that you see on the Tristana, so much of it coming on from the 4 turrets that have been picked up by IG, from the Baron that just got picked up as well.
This is much closer to the IG that you know and expect from them as well. Game 1 felt like a very different side, and credit to LGD, of course, for their Game 1 victory. I still think they played it out decently well to snowball the game out from an advantage, but
this is almost what we expected Game 1 to look like for IG.
This is closer to textbook from a team that had an 8-game win streak without even dropping a single game in any of their sets. This is closer to what you expect.
For the LGD, at what point do you go, all right, we need to start focusing on next game, because this one does not look good for them. 23 minutes in, and IG are already pushing into the base of LGD.
Depends who you are, Fish. If you're Jinoo, you're probably at 3 minutes and 50 seconds thinking about the next game.
Or you can try and push in for a fight like this. JackeyLove does get locked down by Eimy, but Galio is now going to jump into this fight. Baolan pops his ultimate as well. And even Gnar trying to rejoin this fight. He's gone mega, but can't find a way to access the backline. Still split pushing against Jinoo in this bottom lane. Already shipping down that bottom lane inhibitor turret to about half health. IG now working on the mid lane and top lane at the same time. Really splitting up LGD, making this defense almost impossible.
It really is close to impossible. And as Baolan walks around with Mobies as well, controls the vision of LGD, and they are stuck within the confines of their base. As TheShy starts to rotate from bottom to mid and the pressure mounts, I really like what IG are doing here to continue to close this game out as calmly as they would like. Rookie also the one teleporting here.
Just to rejoin the team, just to get that next push going. JackeyLove will be able to get good damage on this inhibitor turret. PYL puts up the door for some time, but he's knocked down to half health. What the heck? Ning already on top of Yuuki, trying to go for a one-on-one underneath Nexus turret. Doesn't work out, but IG still break the base. Now LGD looking to see if they can try and take a 4-on-5. FDY pulls back his support. Gangplank ultimate going through, but Eimy going to be taken down here. Knocked back by JackeyLove. TheShy onto the inhibitor. Will knock 3 people back as Yuuki tries to be the hero that LGD desperately need, but JackeyLove says no. Double kill picked up FDY. He's trying to cut this one out. Baolan taking some damage here. 3 kills going over, but 1 picked up by Jinoo as LGD do pick back some kills in a team fight. However, IG wrecked the base of LGD.
FDY and PYL are the saving grace of LGD. I never thought I'd say that about FDY in his first ever set of League of Legends, but they do get themselves a team fight victory in the end. It was a 4-for-2, and Jinoo survives.
And through the ashes, LGD pick up the consolation prize of an Infernal Drake again. Deja vu as Jinoo, what are you doing? Level 14 against level 14, tries to go one-on-one. JackeyLove just says no.
I have a feeling that JackeyLove was the one cheesing their Fish, not Jinoo, as he was defending super minions. The Tristana most likely just leaped on top of his head.
Oh no, now FDY has been caught out by Ning here. Blast cone available, doesn't take it, instead just trying to run away. Teleports coming through as well, trying to corner him. Locked down, and suddenly TheShy is here to play as well. Ning picks up the kill.
Oh, that poor man is just left to die. He has nowhere to escape after flashing because of the teleport from TheShy. So Kalista just goes down. JackeyLove still pushing, this time on the top side, and with 2 picks. There you go, IG. Even though they looked rough for a second.
Oh, Yuuki tries to Valk on his head, gets good damage, but stopwatch used, and Ning flies in right out of nowhere, locking him down. PYL is stuck against 4 members of IG. I swear, JackeyLove was the only one there a second ago, and now everyone's rocked up.
That was magic, but they find the picks, they push forwards, and now another 2 members have died.
Top lane, inhibitor turret falls, inhibitor turret and the inhibitor falls shortly after. TheShy split pushing the bottom lane. JackeyLove's bouncing around. Jinoo's forced to flash away on top of that. LGD retreat to their fountain, trying to heal up. And even that's not going to save Jinoo. TheShy gets another kill for himself. FDY comes back up, allows Eimy to pick up 1 more for himself. The rest of IG chip away at the Nexus turret. Not going to be enough to take it down just yet, but the base is in absolute shambles.
There is a chance that Nexus turrets still die here from that one super minion if he gets another. Oh, no, he changed targets to the cannon. Fair enough.
He was angry.
He's
He did
having
something
a bad
wrong to
day,
him.
all right? The Nexus turrets will stand, and LGD will hold the base, but it is in complete shambles, and IG are in absolute control. You're just waiting for that last recall, and then that last siege, and I don't actually think they even need to waste time and look towards the Baron, honestly. They just continue to push towards the Nexus and work with the double super waves to start barreling in.
12,000 gold up, 27 minutes into this match. Top of that, you have JackeyLove, who has 5 completed items on Tristana. This early into the game. FDY's picked up his key components, but it's not going to be enough. PYL's been caught out here as well. FDY forced to use his ultimate to pull him back.
Yep. Of course, thankfully, there is a Kalista to pull PYL to safety. He's not going to be caught out of position. So is his stopwatch as well. There's the Braum after his first death. No real opportunity to use it last time, and no real opportunity to use it at all this game. They've just been walked over.
And IG have now stepped back into the base of LGD, going for that final push. Turret's already very low. LGD need to put up a last stand somewhere and try something. As slowly, super minions are going to crash in. Ming and Baolan just dive into the backlines. Here comes Galio with the hero's entrance as well. Ning gets that first kill. Massive talk coming out from Rookie as well. Gets everyone on the fountain. Ning wants to dive in there. He wants more blood.
Jackie wants it as well.
He jumps in. Gnar in the fountain. Everyone from IG's piled on in. There goes JackeyLove. Everyone's dead. Everyone's dead and the game ends. IG pick up game number 2.
The minions finish the game off for IG as they confidently dive the fountain.
That's how you end the game in style.
What an ending from IG.
What a bloodbath. No one's allowed to be alive.
It's smiles from the roster as well, of course. Somber faces from LGD after a defeat like that. It's a crushing defeat that happened very early on into the game.
We talked about LGD if they could pick up the win. You know, they'll force that tie, continue their win streak. In front of their home crowd, they must have had a lot of confidence going into this next match. But IG just crushed that. And to be crushed in such a manner, losing out so early in the match, and then getting 5-man dove underneath the fountain to end the game. LGD need to find a way to come back for game number 3 and take the fight to IG, because that was a complete wipeout.
You know, you hate to see it when you're the Gangplank, but you love to see it when you're watching the Gangplank, who always seems to succeed. They always seem to just get through that early game completely untouched, and only sometimes are they taken down a peg. This time around, a lot of that game just rested on the fact that TheShy was so large, got the 1v1, and then Ning comes up and makes him suffer even more, and then a 2v2 bottom lane, and it was just laning phase. And I think LGD, they can't take away too many things from that game. I think it's very easy to go backstage and just say, like, that game was a wash. It's okay, you just lost lane. You come into the third game, fresh minds, fresh mentalities, and just play your lanes out that little bit better. Be more respectful, be more cautious, whatever it takes.
On top of that, going back to what Clement and Dom were talking about, the fact that they gave away the red side pick and they got first pick and used that Camille flex pick to give TheShy Gnar on the top side map. He looked much better on the champion going to game number 2.
The thing is, Camille also works in the top lane 1v1 against the Gangplank, but they put extra emphasis on having the Gnar to take him down that extra peg and stop Jinoo from being anything close to a threat, and he was never a threat.
And off the back of that, IG will be able to pick up a massive advantage in the early game and snowball lead into the late game. It's now tied up 1-1. To break it down a little bit more, let's send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And we are back here on the analyst desk, here to talk about it. Invictus Gaming with a stylish win. Leaping into the fountain to finish it off, acing themselves, and then allowing the minions to finish the game. They were laughing and smiling, but I don't think we get to be that easy on them.
Yeah.
I don't think we get, as the analysts, get to sit back and say, all right, IG are off the hook now.
There were a couple mistakes there that they could have increased the pace of the game. I think there's still a question mark for what was Ning doing that game?
Yeah,
he had first two early deaths that were completely unnecessary, and then kind of dragged the game out in terms of the execution at the end there. Overall, it does seem like IG were having a bit of a laugh, having a bit of fun. This was very much a laning win for them, especially in that top lane.
And a lot of where that laning win started for them was in the draft phase. We heard it from the casters just a few moments ago, using that very early Camille as a flex pick and then late picking the Gnar. It wasn't red side Rookie, but it still seemed to be plenty effective.
And they and they really worked into that matchup with that red start on the enemy side of the jungle. And most importantly, I felt like JackeyLove improved his mentality.
Yeah.
They did have the early push, but they let the other side get the level 2 because they knew that the enemy jungler was on their side of the jungle. They stayed underneath their turret and were confident that they could outscale the enemy composition. And not only that, they actually won the 2v2 with a sudden burst combo from the Tristana and the Alistar.
And in addition to that, they also won on the other side of the map. Like we said, TheShy got absolutely huge. He's actually going to take our man of the match for this game number 2. 3, 3, and 8 overall. This guy was huge. Flashing into the fountain for the 4-man stun.
That surgical pose from him right there. He really took apart Jinoo in every chance he had. Jinoo was under 40 CS by 10 minutes. PYL actually had more gold than him to support Braum most of the game. And he just missed. TheShy just missed the Flame Horizon by 9 CS.
Yeah, he was so close to being that far ahead. And again, we weren't expecting this top lane to be a slow, I guess, odious affair. This was supposed to be something with lots of fighting and lots of clashing. We definitely saw it in Game 1. Now we've seen it in Game number 2. Now we know what to expect going forward into Game 3. Is it still going to see Jinoo on that Gangplank? It worked once. Will it work again?
I have a lot of doubts about that unless they can pick it on the blue side or they can pick it knowing what TheShy is going to play. Those are the only two situations I feel like the Gangplank comes out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to watch out for counter picks.
So LGD will find themselves with side selection in this matchup. Can they afford to just continue to play this sort of skirmish style that they wanted to try to play in Game 2 and got denied?
They definitely want to. If you look at their drafts, they don't make a lot of sense in terms of holistic compositions. They're more about just fighting everywhere on the map. There's not like a scaling or power point where you feel like they're incredibly strong. So that is going to be their style. I don't think you change that, but you need better execution to actually get your lanes off the ground.
And of course, if you contrast that with Invictus Gaming, they've played the same style in Game 1, they played the same style in Game number 2, but this time they were successful. We'll have to find out if they're successful in Game number 3, though. That's coming at you after just a short break.